What's up, guys? I'm Uncle Freedom. Coming to you before I go to work. I got to work overnight tonight, but I'm down in my basement at my workbench where I maintenance and work on firearms. All firearms shown in this video are clear and safe because I am doing maintenance work to them down here as a certified armorer for multiple agencies. How's it going? That's for the YouTube guys, not for you. So anyway, I'm sitting out here doing some maintenance because I found some issues the last week when I was on the range. I had a lot of guys that reached out like, how do you train? How often do you train? What do you do? And I thought, you know what? I got to do this work anyway. So I would talk to you guys a little bit about how I find the things that I find, how I diagnose the things that I diagnosed, and actually legitimately how often I train. So I shoot at least 2 times a week. Sometimes that's as much as 4 to 5 times a week, but guaranteed I'm going to be on the range at least 2 times during a 7-day window. I host an open LE range day every single Sunday, at least last year. We're going to bump that to every other week this year, just ammo considerations for departments. Because it is, if you send 4 dudes to me and I burn a case of your ammo up in 2.5 hours, that gets expensive pretty quick, especially when we start talking about rifle ammo. And not all officers are willing to put their own money out to provide their own ammo. Now, I provide all of my own ammo to do it. My agency doesn't supply the ammo for what I do. I do it because it's a necessary thing. I believe that law enforcement as a whole is criminally undertrained. Like these guys, like there is a base level of knowledge that you achieve in firearms by going through a place like the academy, but that is exactly what it is. And being a better shooter requires a lot of time. It requires rounds, it requires somebody willing to stand there and correct you and show you things you're doing wrong. So that's how I started this whole open LE thing. And it's been great. It's been a great time. I get to push myself a lot as an instructor. I get to work with some guys, shoot, see some things I've never seen before, diagnose some issues as a gun guy that I've never seen. But it also allows me the opportunity. I vet a ton of gear. So and a lot of you that have been around the entire time for this channel, and for you new guys, this is how this works. If I tell you that I run this belt and I like this belt and I trust this belt, that means that belt is on my body for 40 to 50 hours a week every single week. And that means it's then on my body for an additional 15 hours on the range every week. Between 2 days, if it's only 1 day, it's usually 8 to 10 hours. There is a lot of time spent in gear for me. I mean, that's what I mean. I'm in armor 50 hours a week. So it's par for the course, right? So when I tell you something works, I mean it works. I mean that as a dude that's counting on it or wearing it, it's not uncomfortable. I can deal with it, all this stuff, right? So if I tell you I'm using something and I recommend it, that's the level at which I recommend things. It's not a arbitrary number. It's not I shot 1,000 rounds on it, so I deem it to be trustworthy and reliable. No, it's not that at all. It is, dude, I ran the crap out of this, right? Like at any given time, like right now, there are 7 handguns in rotation that are actually being tested for videos. And I have a designated round count. Kind of not unlike Aaron Cowan's from Sage Dynamic stuff, though it's not his at all. I'm not dropping things. I don't do burn downs and stuff. Nothing against him. He does his own thing his own way, and he's such a high level shooter. If he tells me that the sky is green over there and that's how it's supposed to work when the moon is in this position, I'm going to believe that dude because Aaron's a vetted, reliable source. So anyway, in training, I discover things that don't work, right? So I am a huge advocate for the worn base plates, right? I'm not shy about that at all. I love them and I trust them. Like this is a duty mag for me. So I run duty mags that have those extensions on them. I trust them completely. But I finally found a failure point. Now keep in mind that my mags that I'm going to show you, like this guy right here, this magazine is 7 years old and I have had this worn extension on it for 2 years. This is a training mag for me, and this highlights the reason I tell you your duty mags and your training mags are very different things, and you have to keep them separate. I know people don't want to hear that because it's more money. Trust me, because how I found out this mag failed finally was in the middle of a string of fire, and it was pretty spectacular. And also, this is part of the deal with the Ramjet. So my Gen 545 duty gun, everybody's seen this guy. We are clear. YouTube, look, you can see me through the magazine well, right? No ammo in this mag. Safe area of my home, which I maintenance work on firearms and dry fire, right? So I had some issues with this gun. The Radian Ramjet, I was having problems. I couldn't diagnose it. It was catching on stuff. I couldn't figure it out. Needless to say, it wasn't the ramjet. It was actually something I didn't even think about. And to be honest with you, I pulled the ramjet out because I was having so many issues. And when I say issues, I mean every other round caused a malfunction. I was like, crap, I don't know what's going on with that. And I'd had it with multiple mags. So, talked Radian, figured all this stuff out. It's not this. Nothing's really out of spec with this. It's incredibly tight fitting, which is how it's supposed to be. It's an astoundingly accurate barrel. However, so I was wrong. It was not this thing's problem. But I didn't know what it was. I replaced the recoil spring guide rod assembly in here. I have an NDZ, right? So I had to replace that recoil spring as a part of routine maintenance. That's a part of routine maintenance, YouTube. You have to replace those things. They do wear out. So something like this guy, right? What I noticed on the range this week was I had, again, clear everything, YouTube. On the range, I was shooting and it was boom, 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 right? And I got this like half cycle thing. All right, so I got a failure to feed, and I got another failure to feed. I had 5 failure to feeds in a row. I looked at this mag, chucked it on the ground, went to a different mag, also still a clear mag, and also still a clear firearm. So I put this mag into the gun, right? Gonna run the drill again. Failure, failure, failure. 5 or 6 failures in a row. And I'm like, holy crap. Now it was cold. It was like 19 degrees outside. And we were pretty deep in our range day. I mean, we were a couple hundred rounds in, me and a few other deputies. And I was like, dude, that's weird. And then I got through like that 5 or 6 rounds, and this started functioning reliably. Well, what happened is, there you go, it finally locked back, right? Do you see that? There it goes. That's because this spring is dead. Same deal, we look at this guy, right? There it goes. Spring's dead. That's what it looks like when you have a spring that dies inside of your magazines. And that's why we maintenance and we work on our stuff. And had these been duty mags, that's a problem I could have found, but I maintenance my duty mags meticulously, right? Like those things get rotated and checked and stuff, and they get reliability function tested. But these mags get beat on pretty substantially. These 2 mags probably have 5,000 rounds through them. And we're not talking like full load, unload, full load, unload. We're talking it may only have 10 rounds, right? Because when I set up all these range days, because I'm the guy instructing and showing, it does me no good if I have to go cram mags constantly or mess around with loadouts. So I actually, and you guys will see this on violentalgebra.com, my website. You will see, I'm going to start posting my range days, like the actual, what the drill is, how far away it was, what the part time is, what the mag loadout you need is to run that drill, and what target you need. And if it's a target you can print, I'm going to put it on the second page, and you can just print your targets and go do the same range day I did. Which I thought would be fun for you guys. So in doing that, what I'll do is I have all my mags are numbered, and I'll have my mags laid out like this mag, and this mag is this drill, and it'll be this number, so I know what round counts and what mag. So these could have anywhere from 5 to 3 to 15 to whatever rounds in it, right? But it's constant, and they're constantly being used that way because that's what I do. So that's it. I killed these 2 mags. These mags are complete and utter no-goes right now, right? That doesn't mean you throw them away. So I buy my springs, right? Now, there are a couple of options. You have springs. Here's the thing. The competition market has known about this for a very long time. The guys in the tactical market, not so much. The average prepared guy, definitely not, right? So you can get on to Ghost is a good company. Wolf Springs. Mind you, YouTube, these are springs. You buy them at a hardware store. Wolf Springs, ICMI Springs, stuff like that. But Ghost Springs. So when I went looking for my springs, I picked up 10 packs of springs for $25. Now, something to keep in mind when you look at these, you'll see things 170, 140 millimeter. Here's the thing: if it says 140 millimeter spring, that's a +5 or a +6 extension. Okay, so now you know what it is. Now, I will tell you, it doesn't hurt you to have like a 10% extra power spring, easily available from any of those spring manufacturers that I just mentioned to you: Ghost Springs, Wolf springs with 2 F's, or ICMI springs, Springer springs, springs, YouTube, springs, not a firearm part, springs, freaking springs, like on a trampoline, springs. Now that we've got that out of the way. So Ghost Springs, again, Ghost. They're not attached to me. Those guys don't know me, other than that's where I order my stuff from. So what I end up getting is I get the 13%, right? So this is a plus 13%. These are good for 140 to 150 millimeter, right? So that's going to be my plus 5 plus 6s. They're great. Here's the thing, guys. Again, this stuff is consumable. Have spares of this stuff. I bit the crap out of my cheek. Have spares of this stuff, because when you realize you need it, you don't want to have 5 or 6 mags go down and then they're just gone. So get you some springs so that you can actually maintenance and upkeep your equipment the way you're supposed to. And what I end up doing with mine is I have a logbook. I've talked about this before, right? All my mags are numbered. I have a logbook of all my mags. That numbered list says what mag it is, and it varies caliber to caliber. Glock 22 has their own number list, Glock 17's their own number list, Glock 19's, Glock 26, CZ's, whatever, right? So I will have my number list set down, and it will say, mag 1, whatever, right? So we get to like mag 6. Mag 6 is going to say Glock 17 plus 5 warrant extension installed this date. And then I will mark down in my book today, I had a failure with this mag and replaced my springs with 13% extra power 140 springs on this day, and then I'll keep tabs on it that way. I can usually, at the volume I shoot, I get about 9 to 10 months out of a set of springs. And that's going to vary each to own, right? You may get 5 years out of it if you don't shoot the way I do. I mean, again, I had 57,000 rounds down range this year. That's what I shot last year. I finished doing the tallies because I got to do taxes. So 57,000, like 356 rounds, I think, is what I fired for the year of 2024. And that was over 30,000 rounds of handgun. I think it was 12 to 15,000 rounds of AR, and then the rest of that was in bolt guns for my precision rifle stuff. So keep tabs on this stuff, man. You don't have to be a super nerd to do it, but I'm telling you, an ounce of prevention goes a long way. Go to one of these companies that make springs, pick up a few 10 packs of springs so that you have them, set them aside, keep a logbook, and make sure you notate when you break your stuff and when you fix it. So guys, I am Uncle Freedom. Just thought I'd share this with you today. Hope you found this informative. Anyway, till next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, I'll see you later.